everybody. This is your girl Nyla, and right now you guys are watching World Music Views. Don't go anywhere.
So it's just you.
It's just me. Well, I didn't know. I thought you wanted to interview me because
So
you
you're
texted
good.
Nyla.
You're
So I
good.
wasn't sure because every time you write me, you have something to tell me about Light It Up. So I assumed that
It's light up.
that's what it was gonna be. So
It is.
if you had said Brick and Lace, I would have called Nyana and I would have said Nyana didn't want to do a BNL interview. So I was not sure.
No, it's you. It's you. You are the most certified Jamaican woman in Brazil now.
Really? Woo!
This is of all time.
I am the most certified. What does that mean? Like,
That means you have a song, Light It Up, that's certified platinum in Brazil. No other woman, no other Jamaican woman has that distinction.
That's amazing. I am that's amazing news. That's awesome. I'm humbled and I feel like Light It Up keeps, doing things, amazing things, being certified platinum, I guess in the US and in the UK. That was amazing, to be the first woman from Jamaica, female, woman from Jamaica to do that. It just, sometimes it feels a little surreal. And sometimes I think I'm too humble. I think I'm just very humble. And sometimes I don't think that I let that get to me in terms of, that title or whatever. And I probably should not. But it's a big deal, you know what I mean? And, like when I posted that on social media, some people write underneath, that's a big deal. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess it's cool. But it is a big deal. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that I was able to create that song and create history and to leave a legacy for my daughter and for my children to be able to see that, in particular, my daughter, see that her mom had created something that she'll be able to see and her children will be able to learn about. So I think in that sense, that's a big deal for me. And I don't take that lightly,
How did you become part of Light It Up? You reached out, they reached out. How did that happen?
Well, Light It Up, I'm signed to Sony Music Publishing, and they had reached out to me about wanting me to write with the Lasers. So they sent me some tracks, and then I got into the studio with my writing partner, T Baby. And we just created some magic in the studio, and they loved it. And, I think they were really aggressively looking for music for Pieces of Mission. And they like the vibe, you know what I mean? They totally like the vibe. And I think they were hungry at the time, and I think they were right at the cusp of getting to that international stardom, So I kind of hit them right at that perfect mark. And so we ended up being in contact, and, I just wanted to give them a fresh vibe, you know what I mean? Something that they've never heard before. And I was a fan from before, of course, the Boomaye, the Pon de Floor, and then I love the Get Free track, so I too, at that time in my life, I was in a very experimental time, sound. I just, kind of leaving Brick and Lace, I felt like this is my time to just explore my creativity, and kind of figure out what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be musically. So I think they also found me as a great time too, because I was also exploring my creativity and the flexibility that I could bring to the music space, so we just, it just gelled, and of course we got in the studio, and of course there's the original version that was on the first version, which was just me. And then they had asked me if I could jump on the remix, because I did a remix with the horns and all of that. So, so there are two versions, the original version. I was just happy to make the album, to be honest. I was like, wow, we made the album, and then when I heard, oh, they wanted it to be a single, and then they revamped it, and they said, they were like, can you recut it? Can you recut it like at this this melody, you know, at this because I had lowered the key at this key. And yeah, I was like, you know, I flew to LA and I did it, you know, I re-recorded, and you know, I guess the rest is history. They put it out and it just kind of started just doing its thing, you know.
So globally, the song has sold probably now more than 6 million records, at least more than 4 million.
Mhm.
Do you have 4 million worth of money? Like, does that money come to you? For those who don't know the music industry, can you explain how you
Do I
get
have
revenue from that?
well, do I have 4 million worth of money? I wouldn't say I have $4 million worth of money, but let's just say, well, that has to be split up amongst the team. You know, everybody has to get paid. Everybody who was involved in creating the song has to get their share. You know, they're publishing. Of course, there's a production side of things, so they have to get paid. But of course, I do get my royalty splits. Is it $4 million worth? I'm not gonna say it's not that much, but I do get my royalties, my fair share of my royalties, and give God thanks for it. You know, you do your work and you're supposed to get paid for your work. And yeah, so I didn't know it sold that much, but hey, give God thanks. You guys are the one, to be honest, JR, you're the one who is always letting me know what's happening with the achievements of the song, you know, so I appreciate that.
So then when you see it on World Music Video, you call up Sony and be like, yo, where's my check?
Sony sends me my check. They send me my check, but you know, I may have to give them a call to renegotiate, and you know. So
That's my next question, actually. With the success of that song and you making history so much as a female, there aren't a lot of women artists who are going platinum. In fact, they're far in between, you know? Lady saw a collab with No Doubt and another group, and Dawn Penn went solo gold, Patra went solo gold with her album.
yeah.
Far and few in between. Are you in a position now to be like, hey, I'm going to make an album on the strength of the success that people know me all over the world, they know this big tune, and I'm going to make an album and hit the road?
You know, I think probably prior to having my son, I probably wanted to do that. You know, and I think just becoming a mother has changed a lot for me, you know, and I don't know. I think it's a tricky question, you know, because I do think with all the success, I still feel like there are hurdles for Black female artists, and not just Black female artists, but Black female Jamaican or Caribbean artists. And I feel like, I don't know if it's in my mind or in the industry, sometimes I think people think it's like a buck-ups, you know, and it's like I feel like I have to be constantly reaffirming or trying to let people know, even with the Brick and Lace, you know, like that I'm a hit maker, you know what I mean? And I feel like, okay, I'm not Beyonce, but I have had records that have not just one, I have a track record of songs that have reached charts globally. I did it by myself and I did it with my sister. We've done it with J-Lo and Wisin and Yandel. You know, that song was the #1, the most played Latin record of 2015, and we won a BMI award for that. So I feel like maybe we are too humble. As I said before, I do think me and my sisters are a little humble, but I think it's time for people to know, yeah, we do deserve our star. You know what I mean? We do deserve our flows because we put in time and energy into and I think probably that is probably why we're probably not as maybe further ahead. It's because we feel like we're constantly having to jump over these hurdles to prove our standing, you know, and you're right. I am the first woman from Jamaica to go platinum, not just in America, but in Brazil and in UK. There is some merit to that, you know, and it should be like what you're saying. It should be like what you're saying, that call up this producer, hey, you know, Nyla wants to get in the studio. Is it like that? Probably not, you know. As I said, maybe that's in my mind, you know, but, you know, I'm hoping that maybe all of this information and I don't, you know what? I just try to work with who wants to work with me. And I would love to work with the Lasers again. You know, I have another record that we have, to be honest, I did like 3 or 4 more records with them that nobody has heard, you know, and great records, you know. To be honest, Light It Up wasn't one of the favorite ones that I did with them. To Light It Up was like, this is the one that you guys like. What about this one, you know? So yeah, I would love to absolutely. There's more to be had, there's more juice, there's more money to be made, you know, there's just, you know, there's more life to live, you know, and yeah, I do think, but you know, nothing is handed to you. I guess you have to fight for your life, you have to fight for your music, and you have to fight. And I guess that's what it is, you know.
What are your thoughts on the other women in dancehall now who are trying to get hit records like you and hit Billboard charts and get out there? Especially the young.
I think, you know, I think the women are doing amazing stuff. I think the Jamaican, I think Shensia is like, she's gone, you know.
I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I am just moving forth with my energy.
Oh, that's a spice, you know. So I mean, whatever they're doing the right thing, you know. I think, yeah, I feel like, I feel like they're hitting the marks. I mean, what more can you want? To just be able to go and sing in front of thousands of your fans. I mean, that's all you could really ask for as an artist and as a creator, you know. You just have to create the music that you love, you know, and hope that people will receive it, you know, and love it the way and value it the way that you value it. And I think that's what I did, you know. I think me coming in, I think what has helped me and also my sisters is the fact that we really grew up with pop ears, you know, and our father was a musician, you know, he's an architect / musician, he played piano, you know, our mom sings as well. And we were exposed to a wide array, you know, a wide genre of music, you know. So kind of like the Tessan and the time, like more of a pop sensibility, you know what I mean? And I think that plays well to the international markets. And I think that's probably what's.
Plus, you look good. Don't deny that part. The look is a big part of it. You look good. Aesthetically, you and your sister resonate with. You look Indian, you look white, you're Jamaican, you're Miami, you have LA aesthetics. You kind of resonate with even Brazilian people, obviously, because the song just went platinum in Brazil. So I think that's part of it. Do you think these new girls are appealing to that kind of market?
I think it's the looks. Yes, definitely the looks did help, but I wasn't even in my stuff video. I wasn't in the video. You know, that's another thing that's another conversation. But so
why?
that
tell
was
me why.
not.
Tell me why you weren't. We'll get back to the looks. Tell me why you weren't in the video.
You know, that whole burial thing. We didn't get it. But thank God for the CGI video that came out after, you know.
Okay. So tell me about the look, because this ties into the look as well. So on the one hand, that look didn't work for you then for the video, but the look obviously worked for Brick and Lace. Love is Wicked, a big tune. The other songs, you have a big tune, and your songs are selling for an extended period of time. Light It Up is almost 10 years old. Next year is 10. So your songs are selling for a long period of time. Do you think these new girls, and you feel free to call names, who are those that are actually hitting and finding that aesthetics?
I think that's another thing. So I think the industry puts too much on aesthetics, and it just puts too much pressure on women, and I'm tired of it. I think you know, like, I feel like it's 80% aesthetic and 20% music, and I think it should really be 20% aesthetic and 80% music. Like, And I think probably that is why Light It Up did so well, because it's not about aesthetic, it's about the song. And I think that's probably why we're not really hearing songs that are lasting, because people are not writing great records. You know what I mean? Like long lasting. Love is Wicked has lasted years. Like before we even put out the video for Love is Wicked, we had written that before, like 4 years before. And Love is Wicked is still playing to this day. So it's more than, yes, the aesthetic did help put us, and it still keeps us relevant. And people are like, oh my God, how are you guys still looking so young after all these years and whatever. Yes, that does play a part in it. But I think at the end of the day, it's about creating great records. You know, I was blessed to have my talents and good writing people around me. You know what I mean? Like my sisters, we created magic together, and working with T Baby, Philip Fender. He's a phenomenal writer. He wrote Drive with David Guetta and Black Coffee, which is another hit record. So, you know what I mean? It's about creating quality. You know what I mean? I personally think Shenseea is doing that. I love her records, you know, and I think she has that sensibility, and I think she has that, you know, I think she's doing it. You know what I mean? I think whoever she's working with, herself and the writers, they know how to, and I think she knows how to sell it too, you know, and I think that's important too. So
me and dear two people at the same time, just weighing my options.
I mean, I don't know which other, I think the Jamaican artists are doing it, you know, I think they are. I think, you know, I also think it's the machine, you know what I mean? Having a good machine and having the money to, of course, to push you and get you out there for people to see. All of that plays into it. So it's not just one thing, you know, but I do think at the core, it's the music business, you know, and hits opens doors, you know. Hits is about hits, making hits.
Yeah.
You know?
How does your child feel about you knowing that you're a star? Like, do they understand that, or
They don't. You know, they don't. I show them and I'm like, this is mommy singing, and they're like, okay, and they keep it moving. You know, they're still young, you know. I would say they're like me and Nyanda's new song, Proof. They like the melody and they sing it, so they do like that new song. You know, I think they're like, oh, this is good. So yeah.
what happened with you and the Bad Boy Sean Paul song? I see both of you spoke out on that.
Am I saying that I think Sean Paul, our beloved Sean Paul, was the person? I don't think so. I think Sean actually just did his verse in the studio as they asked him to, and went home about his business. As far as I know, Sean and I cleared it up. Of course, we love our beloved Sean Paul. Sean is a legend. I just wanted to express that part, and I feel like it's within any and all creators and writers and performers. If you feel like you hear more than one element that draws close to something you have previously created, then I think then you should have the right to speak on that. And I just wanted to clarify that.
What's the case on it now? And just say what it was that caused you to have a concern.
You know, you're a tricky one. You're a tricky one. No, you know, the truth is I didn't have any grievance, for lack of a better term. It was not with Sean Paul. In my heart of hearts, and Sean must know this, I did not think that Sean wrote the parts that sounded like Light It Up. You know what I mean? I've been in the music business long enough to know Sean probably got the record and recorded his verse in Jamaica and sent it back to them. Like, come on, you know? My grievance was with the part that's the Light It Up part, like literally the cadence, some of the melody and how it was positioned in the song really sounded like Light It Up to me, you know. And I think why can't I speak on that or air that concern if it has something to do with my intellectual work? You know, because it's Will Smith and it's Sean Paul, they're bigger artists than I am, that I am supposed to just take a seat. No, I'm not going to. And I was not trying to come at Sean, but everybody took it that way. I guess they saw Sean was on the record. But as I said before, it was really to the writers who wrote that part that sounded like Light It Up, you know? And I saw a blog where they put it side by side, like they literally merged the two. And like everything was placed in the same, you know what I mean? Of course, it's a different key. It's a guy singing it, you know, and it's more rap. It's like a rap song. But you can hear the influence, you know, and why should I be ostracized for airing something that to me sounds obvious? You know, maybe how I came about it was a bit abrasive and maybe people didn't like that, you know, as Jody said, not what tea. You know.
So, but why, if you feel strongly about it, why care what people think?
You know, and I don't, you know, and I think that is why I came out. You know, for me, it was like, okay, at the end of the day, I don't really, you know, to be honest, you'll go down a rabbit hole reading the comments, you know, and some people were nasty and some people were so mean. I was like, my God, you would have think I cuss out the man and tell him about him parts, you know what I mean?
Hey,
and
you can't read comments. You can't,
like, I
as
was
a
like, oh,
star,
you would have thought I said, you know, like, what is it that I did so to make these comments so like vitriol, you know? But at the end of the day, I kind of had to like rein it back. And you know, I've been talking to my therapist. I have a therapist.
nice.
And yeah, because I said I needed to just, you know, you'll go down that rabbit hole. And I had to rein
Did
it
your
back.
therapist tell you not to read comments?
Yeah, he said, you know, Nyla, maybe you need to just like read 5 and then put it away. And I said, you know, he's right. So yeah, caring what people think is the worst thing. So you have to let that go, especially being in the music business and being up in the limelight and being a social media influencer too, you know, because that's a part of it, you know.
You're not a social media influencer. You're a leader in this industry. I don't know if you understand how hard it is to sell 200,000 records, and you are on a record that sold 3 million. That's leadership, all right? That's you and your achievements. So you're not just, it's just because now everybody has a voice and the internet makes things easy. But by all metrics, even before social media, this is a super achievement to write and perform a song like that. So they are going to try to get on your wave because you are the power. You are the strength of the industry. So they are going to, if you say something, whatever you say on this interview, good or bad, they're going to say something, but you should stand on it and say what you want to say because you're a leader. When Marcus Garvey spoke, he didn't care who talked after him. He just spoke and dropped the mic and left. And move on to the next piece. So as a leader, you know, my advice is say what you want, do it in good faith, and just press on because you are at the top. You're not just some girl coming into the industry. You've achieved and proven who you are. It's just for you to not do it again, which is what I'd love to see. Drop albums and keep going, you know?
Yeah, we have to keep going. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, JR. You know, as I said, I am a very humble person. I think we just grew up that way, you know. So yeah, it's, you know, and I think it's just about keeping it going. I think people have asked, you know, what keeps us looking young or what keeps me looking young or what, you know, oh my God, it's been, and I think what it is that we don't just sit in the past and just like, oh, the glory days, you know what I mean? It's like, what's next? You know, you just kind of keep moving. Of course, there are other things like exercise and eating right and, you know, it's very important things. But I think it's just always keeping busy, you know, like if you talk to my mom and, you know, she has
Tell us about your beauty routine, from your skin routine to your meals. Like, give us a little secret. You don't have to tell us everything, but what is your preparation technique?
You know, I am the worst. I'm gonna tell you, I'm the worst with the facial. I am not somebody that do the whole thing. I don't have 10 different serums. I literally probably use 2 at night. And before I put on my makeup, I just put on one, you know, hydrating thing. I just try to, I do exercise a lot. I love to run. I'm a runner. You know, I will tell you, if I'm feeling like out of it and I'm feeling just like my brain, I need to clear my mind and my head, I'll go for a long run, you know. So I am somebody who is an avid workout person, you know. I do try to eat, you know, healthy. You know, I am not somebody that, I am somebody that portions my food. So I'm not gonna, like, if I buy something, I'm gonna eat half of it. I'm not gonna eat the full thing, you know what I mean? And I eat in small plates, and you know, I think moderation is the key. Moderation, of course, you take your supplements and stuff like that. But I should be better in terms of, I should do better in terms of like the serums, and you know, I am not opposed to the Botox. Like I did that last year, to be honest, and I'm not. Hey, I'm
Exclusive
for
on
it.
World Music Views.
Huh?
World Music Views exclusive.
I know, right? Exclusive. If you want to go get your Botox, go get it. I'm not there to shape anybody, you know. So yeah, you know, I don't know. I keep it simple. I try to keep it simple. I think the older I get is the simpler I'm trying to just keep it. You know, even with my makeup, I'm just like why do I need all of this makeup? Like it's just making me look worse. You
No, you're
know.
beautiful. You're absolutely beautiful. And you're
Thank
right. You
you.
don't look a day older than Love is Wicked days. You have the same look, you know?
Oh, thank you. Okay. Give
Um,
thanks.
over time you signed to Sony. That was the first label you signed to?
No, okay. So the first label we signed to was Geffen.
Yes, Geffen.
We signed to Geffen / Interscope. And then Con Live. So Akon had his label imprint on Geffen, and we ended up being signed to Con Live because, you know, we worked so well with Akon, you know, that they were like, you know, you guys should just sign to his label. Well, I think he wanted us, you know, so we ended up signing to the imprints. So that is how the whole Akon thing came about. But when we got the deal with Geffen was the same time we got our publishing deal with Sony. So Geffen was the label and Sony Music Publishing was the writing side, because they knew we wrote all of our songs. So it just made sense for us to get a publishing deal as well, because we were writers too, not just artists. So that's how the Sony came into play.
So you're earning in the future on your music. Would you ever sell that future earnings to a venture capitalist? Or I see everybody selling out their rights, their music. Would you and your sister ever sell yours, and how much?
You know, that's so funny because we've literally been talking about that with our label partner right now. I think if the number looks good, you know what I mean? Our old manager, our farmer manager said, you know, you don't turn on anything but your color. So, you know, yeah, when money is, you get how much? Okay, let's discuss, you know. I guess it depends on the figure, and I guess maybe a percentage of it, you know. That's definitely something to think about, you know. With Love is Wicked, that's another thing. We'd probably have to recut that in the studio, because it belongs to Geffen. So then there is that legal aspect of that, you know. And then we'd Light It Up too. So we'd have to figure out those little nuances, you know.
Now, how they do it is they give you multiples of whatever you're earning now, and then they collect the future earnings on your money.
So like an advance, yeah, like a.
But they'll buy out the whole right, so they'll probably give you 10 years worth of money today.
Yeah.
And they'll do that. So whatever rights you have now, and then whatever rights, if you audit a label, I'm sure a label owe you money. That's always the case, by the way. Yeah, so when you're ready for that, give me the exclusive, all right? I want to know when you sell. I want to be the one to announce it, all right?
Definitely, because especially Love is Wicked has, really done so much
Yep. Yep.
more than and it's still yeah.
Wrapping up, who are your top 5 artists of all time?
Oh my God. Oh. G's on P's. I am such a what I would say, okay, Lauryn Hill, Celine Dion from Jamaica.
Doesn't have to be.
Well, I mean,
This is
Jamaica,
world music views.
world music. Oh my God, that's a hard one. I love Celine Dion, of course, Whitney. I love Brandy. Brandy's my girl.
One more.
Of all time,
Give me a man.
a man. I forget y'all. Oh my goodness. There's so many. Oh my gosh. I guess I would say Bob. That's so cliche.
Good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I don't
That's
like
very
that
good.
question because there are so many artists that are, just contributed so much, so yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Thank you so much. This is World Music Views. You have definitely earned a spot in the creme de la creme of music, not even just Jamaican music, of music. Were you born in Jamaica, by the way? Or you're
Born and raised. I went to St. Andrew High School for girls.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, I was born and raised. Yeah.
Who's up there with you, Stefflon Don? But Stefflon is not born in Jamaica. So you, from somebody born here in Jamaica, your achievements are above your counterparts, and you're sitting on the backs of people like Grace Jones, Marcia Griffiths, all those people that paved the way for women in Jamaican music. So you're representing, you're doing your thing, and you're doing it gracefully. So keep going.
Thank you, JR. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for having me on your show.
Give me a drop. You're not just going to say that. You're just going to give me a World Music Views. This is Nyla.
You need to talk about my shaper line, though.
Tell me about it. We'll drop
okay,
that.
yes, so I just want to tell the people I am the founder and creator of the first ever shaper line designed to be worn on the cutout dresses. So the name of my company is Blair Shapewear, and I'm really excited because it's something that I've been working on for over 2 years. Literally, I've put so much heart and sweat and tears into it. I did the sketches, and it actually works. It was curated because something that I needed. It was a problem. I wanted to create a solution to a problem that I faced, and it was when I was moving from my last house, I was getting rid of these cut open dresses, and I just had Bellamy, my daughter, and I literally was like, boy, I love these. I don't want to get rid of these dresses, I wish I could, because I had this still, when you're a mom and you just have a baby, it's hard to get rid of that lower kangaroo pouch, as we call it. So I was like, I don't want to get rid of my dresses. I love these dresses. And I was like, I wish I could just find a solution, that would allow me to wear cutout dresses. And so I feel like God gave me this idea, and I just started sketching. And I just started working with different manufacturers to get it to where it is now. And right now I have the prototypes, and I'm working on. So if anybody's interested, they should sign up. They can go to my link in bio on my Instagram page and my TikTok. You guys need to check out my Instagram. It's at Nyla Brick and Lace, NYLA BRICKNLACE. And it's in my link tree. So you guys sign up. Actually, if I signed up today, I'm giving away a 10% discount. So just wanted to drop that aspect in. Your girl is a businesswoman too. So
you got
yeah.
2 minutes. You know what? You should do Nyla shirts, like just big t-shirts with your face on it. Nyla, the brand. Boom.
Is my brand big enough for people gonna buy that?
You sold triple platinum, girl. Light it up, Nyla. Boom. Trademarked. I need 10%.
Okay.
Booyah! Thank you so much. Later.
All right, JR, I appreciate it. You take care.